Last week, we flagged off animal feeds to the tune of 11 metric tons of high fiber cubes, 80 metric tons of molasses, and 4 metric tons of UMBB. Today, we are flagging off 100,000 doses of anthrax vaccines. This was necessary after a devastating spread of anthrax, particularly in Wajir South and Wales. Wajir South and East, and part of Tarbaj. We will be dispatching 6 teams, most of whom will go to Wajir South. And we understand that a good number of the population, our livestock herders, are in Wajir South. The leadership here has appreciated that as much for the hospitality of Wajir South and those in Garissa and Tana River as well. So we are here to attend passionately to every challenge we have as a county, particularly knowing that livestock is our core economic mainstay. We understand equally that livestock contributes about 14% of the national GDP of Kenya, and 70% of that livestock lives and resides and are reared in ASAL counties, of which the greater majority are in northern Kenya. So that's how important it is to us when it comes to livestock and livestock production. After the drought season, hopefully, inshallah, this will end as we pray to the Almighty Allah. Once the drought season is over, we will be re-strategizing. We will have a strategic mental shift in terms of extracting our livestock value chain. It can no longer be the same as it is now. Our rangeland management needs to become top of our agenda. There is a lot of mushrooming of settlements that has shrinked the grazing lands of our county. Droughts are also common, and rains are usually depressed for the last several seasons, as you know. So it cannot be business as usual. It cannot be business as usual. We cannot be doing things the same way and expecting a different result. That, they say, is insanity, right? But requires the needful human capital and the equipment necessary for it to operate. We now take our samples to Nairobi, is it? And that takes a longer turnaround time for samples to be screened and diagnosis to be done. But going forward, we will do our screening and diagnosis in Wajir County. That vet will be equipped in the shortest time practical, budgets permitting, inshallah. So that we do our diagnostics and treatment of animals within the county of Wajir. Since our economic mainstay is livestock, we need to have everything necessary in terms of infrastructure in establishing and entrenching livestock in our county. We will do that, inshallah. And that paradigm shift will come, but for now we are attending to emergencies. This being the case, last week it was the animal feeds. We also launched the human food some times back. We'll be doing the same in the days ahead. Ramadan is at the corner, probably in the next 2 months. Most families are facing starvation, some of them. A good number do, particularly in Wajir West, Aldas, and I think North. So we will be trying to attend to all these challenges as a government. But as we said, it's just not a one-man show. Government is not run by one person. We have sat with the House leadership that can be ascertained by the majority leader some 2 weeks ago, the County Assembly leadership, on how to have synergy amongst us in terms of our interventions. We sat with the MPs the day before yesterday. We sat with a good number of our MPs and in trying to inculcate some synergy amongst us and also share information where necessary. But we are also here talking to the society. Our society also needs reforms, social reforms. Corruption are in stages. When corruption goes into the level of mental corruption, it becomes a disease, right? We were told in a meeting, and CC Wardere can confirm this, there was a case where people apply for bursaries, bring admission letters from schools where they are not students. Okay? Where they are not students. And this they do in cahoot with maybe the leadership of the school or some other people. When you do verification and background check, we find out that these are not students in that institution. Now, when it goes to that level, it becomes mental corruption. So we ask and call upon the society to please do what is right. Don't apply for bursary if you are not in need. Okay? Don't apply for business loans if you have the capital to use. Don't apply for disability fund if you are not a disabled person. Right? Everything we do will definitely attract both positive and negative criticisms. It's allowed. It is allowed. It's part of human nature. Some will praise us for doing the right thing. Some will castigate us for doing the right thing. We will listen to all. But it should not go to the point of causing some kind of incitement in the community. We call upon all leaders, elected or otherwise, to take heed. Sisi tuko na mandate ya miaka mitano. Wao pia wako na yao. What we are calling for is synergy, collaboration. We work together, we share information for the benefit of the public. It should not go to the level of incitement. So society, we expect them to work with us closely. We also want them to work the right way. If you didn't do any job, particularly in terms of execution of our projects, they are pending bills for now. We are trying to address them. But there are instances where these jobs were not done. These projects were not done. They are fictitious, fake, and fallacious. They have no root at all. In such instances, it calls for stern actions. And we will go a long way in trying to execute what the law allows us to do. Okay? So the society also requires reforms. We will communicate much as possible. What we call behavior change communication is a key component of service delivery. We will do that as we go ahead. But for now, and for today, we are launching these vaccines, which is 100,000 vaccines. We appreciate all the partners present here or otherwise who are also addressing this menace. The county government has purchased these drugs from Kevavapi, and we will do more. We will also equip the vet with time, the vet lab with time, and have in place the needful human capital that is necessary to shorten in terms of screening, diagnosis, and treatment, inshallah.